My name is Sharon Goodwine and I work for Wells Fargo. Today I will be reading from this book, Out of Wonder, Poems Celebrating Poets by Kwame Alexander. A poem is a small but powerful thing. It speaks truths, asks questions about the world, about being human. From our first moments, we breathe language through the marvelous lens of rhythm and rhyme. Today, I will be reading a few poems that we have here in the book. This book is really, really great as it has 20 poems in it, and I hope that you all enjoy reading each and every one. Got style. Poets love to make up their own rules about writing. That's what makes it so much fun. Sometimes E. Cummings and Nikki Giovanni use ellipses to separate ideas and lowercase letters at the beginning of sentences. Langston Hughes, who loved jazz, was a master of repetition, rhythm, rhyming couplets, and quatrains. The poems in this section pay tribute to the poets being celebrated by adopting their styles and rhythms. How to write a poem, celebrating Naomi Shihab Nye. Hush, grab a pencil, some paper, spunk. Let loose your heart, raise your voice. What if I have many voices? Let them dance together, twist and turn like best friends, in a maze till you find your way to that one true word or two. Kwame Alexander on page 3. In every season, celebrating Robert Frost. In every season, I have wandered on paths that wind through fields and woods beside my farm, marked by lone stone walls, strung across the hills like unwound string. Out beyond the pasture and the brook bubbling beneath the pines, I have walked on ice through starless winter nights, into the orchard frozen in moonlight. I have stopped to shake the dry snow from the branches and watch the outline of each bare tree sharpen like stone, and considered that quite often life is too much like a pathless wood. Still, I have lived so long and traveled far, and I have climbed these hills and looked at the world and descended. By Marjorie Wentworth. I like your, celebrating E. Cummings. I like my shoes when they are with your shoes. Mostly the comes, leastly the goes. I carry your footsteps, 1, 2, 3, 4, in between today, tomorrow, again and again and again. I like to feel the flowers and the follow to your lead. It is such a happy thing to yes the next with you, to walk on magic love rugs beneath the what and why nots, the anythings of liking ever blooming thing, 4 feet, 2 hearts, one great, great, great us going. Kwame Alexander. Another type of poem is a haiku. This one is called Contemporary Haiku, celebrating Basho. Desk in tidy rows, notebooks and texts neatly stacked. New year begins soon. Thunder and lightning, rain soaking the school blacktop, recess bells silent. Pen scratching paper, syllables counted with care, poets blossoming. By Chris Cotterly. You too can write a haiku. On page 10, we have Jazz Jive Jam, celebrating Langston Hughes. On Saturday, my mama sang a song that sounded blue. Then Daddy made his trumpet cry. I guess the rent is due. Round midnight came a band of neighbors, swinging soul to soul. The landlord even cut a rug and let the good times roll. They all ate Mama's waffles and her chicken cordon bleu. Then Daddy passed his hat around because the rent is due. Come Sunday, me and Mama kneeled while Deacon Willie prayed. When we got home, my daddy cheered, "Hooray, the rent's been paid," by Kwame Alexander. Now I'm going to read a few poems from part 2, In Your Shoes. Sometimes our poems sound like they were written by our favorite poets, and that is okay. It's easy to incorporate the feelings and themes of poets we are reading into our own work. Walter Dean Myers loved basketball. Judith Wright was a well-known environmentalist, and Billy Collins makes you laugh out loud with his conversational and witty observations on the everyday happenings of life. Using these ideas, we can create our own masterpieces. Walter, age 10, celebrating Walter Dean Myers. I'd like to soar one day, like Sweetwater Clifton high above the rim. I want to trot the globe, grab the world in my hands, and twirl a big ball of hope from corner to corner. Yeah, Daddy-o, soon as I get some wings, I'm going to name the stars after my buddies. Put them in each in a story of their own, so we never forget the summers we spent, watching Sweeties double dutch, stealing pop bottles from Mrs. Lomax, falling on the blacktop, and fighting our way home after we won. Yeah, one day I'll stand on my stoop, look out at all the nurses, the poets, the workers, the hustlers, and color them my heroes, beautiful and brilliant heroes, bouncing round here in Harlem, by Kwame Alexander. On page 18, we have how Billy Collins writes a poem, celebrating Billy Collins. When you first wake up, notice how your mother's voice calling you to breakfast sounds like a fire alarm. Watch the steam rising off your oatmeal like tiny clouds and guess where it goes. Pay attention to the smallest things, a fly buzzing near the kitchen window, bright rocks in the driveway, the handful of marbles in your pocket, the sound they make when you walk. Imagine that the leaves spinning in the wind on the walk to school are alien ships, and that barking dogs belong to a prince. At night, when the stars seem close, reach up and grab some. Our lives are made from these things, and when you describe them, you discover magic. It's the way your pen becomes a wand in your hand, and this may be the only thing you need to know, by Marjorie Wentworth. Here's another poem. This one is called Loving, the World and Everything in It, celebrating Mary Oliver. Each day I walk out onto the damp grass before the sun has spoken, because I love the world and the miracle of morning. I love to stand beside the old oak trees beneath a symphony of birdsong and listen to every perfect note, while the wind passes around me like a warm sea. Sometimes a feather drifts down into my hands. I hold it and imagine flying, by Marjorie Wentworth. So this last part is part 3, and it's called Thank You. A poet's words can affect us in a highly personal way. A poem can sometimes be so powerful that it might even feel though the poet is speaking directly to us. as if we are in the middle of a private conversation. When we are moved in such a profound way, we speak back. The poems in this section respond by simply sharing with the world in words how awesome we feel about the poet and the poem. On page 28, we have Hue and Cry, celebrating Gwendolyn Brooks. Bronzeville lady, way past cool, voice like butter, melting blues. She sung low, she sung high, roused with rhyme, hue and cry. Woman black, smile like moon, Bronzeville lady, gone too soon, by Kwame Alexander. The Poet Inside Me, celebrating Sandra Cisneros. You are the little girl from Mango Street, the one with the lazy locks and an old red sweater on her desk. You are the only daughter, the traveler with dos linguas, the one who holds Papa when he weeps. You are the fairy tales in Mi Vida, the words in my alphabet soup, the book in my backpack for the trip to school. You are La Luna that glows when I sleep, the poet inside me, waiting to rise like the morning sun, by Chris Colderly. And the very last poem that I will share with you today is called For Our Children's Children on page 36, celebrating Chief Dan George. Greet the new day like a stranger entering it for the first time. Listen to the rivers, the raven's song, the woodpecker's knock, and your beating heart. Walk softly, mind the leaves dancing in shaky hands of an old maple. Let the shadows of drifting clouds warm your cheek and whisper softly. Share the earth with all creatures. Love them, and they will love you back, by Chris Colderly. Thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed this book as much as I enjoyed reading it. Once again, Out of Wonder, Poems Celebrating Poets by Kwame Alexander.